welcome to my channel on the best of fantasy. This is the week that was. And this is coming out on a Thursday, unusually, and for a very good reason. The very first thing I would like to talk about on this episode of the week that was is something I'm very excited for, coming on this Saturday, the 11th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time here in the United States. I will be part of a discussion on To Ride Hell's Chasm, which is a standalone book by the author Jenny Wirtz. I am so excited to be talking about this book, not only because it is an excellent book and a wonderful taste of Jenny Wirtz's writing, but also because Jenny Wirtz herself will be part of the discussion on Saturday at 2. We will also be joined by Joanna, and I think that Joanna is very excited to be talking about this book as well. I've heard some very positive feedback on it from her. And also we will be joined by Blaze from Under the Radar SFF Books. Blaze is also really excited to be talking about To Ride Hell's Chasm. I think it's a wonderful, for me so far, it has been a wonderful introduction to Jenny Wirtz's writing. And since I will be doing a read of her masterpiece, her 11-book series, The Wars of Light and Shadow, at some point fairly soon, we will be beginning that with AP and with Jimmy from the Fantasy Network, or Nutwork, sorry Jimmy, from the Fantasy Nutwork. AP from A Critical Dragon, of course. This is going to be the central event of my channel this year. I'm very excited. And I thought, let's get a little taste of Jenny Wirtz's writing in the meantime. So that's what this was all about. And it sort of snowballed in the best possible way into a discussion with Jenny and Blaze and Joanna. So I'm extremely excited for that. The discussion will begin, even if you've never read anything by Jenny Wirtz, but if you're curious to hear about her work, the discussion will begin spoiler-free. We will have an opportunity to ask Jenny some questions about her work and how this particular standalone relates to her other work and what kind of writing she does, that sort of thing. So if you're curious and you'd like to come to the non-spoiler part of the discussion, all are welcome. In addition, we will be having, at some point, and we will be announcing that so everybody will know, we'll be getting into spoilers on To Ride Hell's Chasm for those of you who have read it and are eager to discuss it as well. So please, everybody who is interested in that, Saturday, 2 o'clock Eastern Time here in the United States. So yeah, as you can see, I'm pretty excited about that. And what else is going on here? Well, on the channel, I did a review of Wolves of the Kala, the 5th book in the Dark Tower series by Stephen King. I have so many wonderful things to say about that series. It has been such a wonderful time for me reading the first 5, technically really 6 books, because I also read Wind Through the Keyhole, or book 4.5. But great series. It is definitely a top series in the genre for me still. I am loving it, and I can't wait to get to the next 2 books in the series, the last 2 books. And I have a Dark Tower palaver planned for late July. We're going to get the quartet back together again. That is Mike and Sarah, and of course Chaz from Bookish Chaz. We're going to have that group get together again and discuss the entire series once we've read it all. So I'm very excited for that. And but Wolves of the Kala did not displace, I would say, Wizard and Glass Book 4 as my favorite of the series, but it was still a really fantastic book in the series. I had so many great things to say about it. And it is getting weirder. It is getting weirder and weirder and more meta as the series continues, and I expect that to be a trend going forward in the last couple of books based on what I've heard. So we shall see what I make of those. Also had a wonderful time with the LPQ gang, Long Price Quartet by Daniel Abraham. We had our final discussion on the Long Price Quartet, focusing on The Price of Spring, the 4th book and final book in the series. And that group, well, this time around it was mainly Sarah and Andrew from Andrew's Wizardly Reads, who showed up for the entire duration. But also Alan, the Long Price Prophet, did show up at times as he could. He was busy that day doing some good deeds. So he's a hero outside of Booktube as well. But it was great to have him add his insights during that discussion as he was able to participate. And also Nico did show up at the very end of the discussion, and he had an emergency to take care of as well, so it was unfortunate that he was unable to be there because it's been so wonderful to have Nico's insights all along through the series. I've really enjoyed reading the series with our friends, and unfortunately Zara couldn't show up for this chat either. She was delayed by a late train, so that was unfortunate. I was really looking forward to having the opportunity to talk with Zara for the first time, but hopefully there'll be an opportunity in the future for that. But it was a great discussion. We had people coming and going in the midst of the discussion, and we had great insights throughout, and also from people in the chat. So that was great. Also, I had, speaking of Andrew from Andrew's Wizardly Reads, I had another episode of Dear Dr. Fantasy, the 10th episode, and that was with Andrew. And we had a fantastic time talking about, of course, fantasy and our reading and Andrew's reading journey, what brought him to being a booktuber, being a dad, because he is now, once for the second time recently, a dad, and various other topics. So it was really wonderful to get to know Andrew a little bit and to learn about his reading journey, what made him the reader he is today. Because you are what you read, folks. So, yeah. Elsewhere, I appeared, this was almost 2 weeks ago now, but it has been a while since the last episode of the week that was. But I did appear on the very first edition of Saturday Night Nights on Mike's Book Reviews. And that was a wonderful discussion. It went for, I think, like more than 3 hours. We also had Alan from the Library of Alexandria there, and Sarah from Sarah Reads. It was a wonderful time. It was really just a fabulous time talking with those three, and always a joy to talk with my friends here on Booktube, and they are three of the best. So yeah, it was a great discussion that I enjoyed thoroughly. And with that, on to what am I reading? Well, I am finishing up To Ride Hell's Chasm at the moment, but as soon as I'm done with that, I will be starting Red Sister by Mark Lawrence. It is book one of the Book of the Ancestor trilogy. I have been itching to read this trilogy for quite a long time, and finally I'm going to just do it. So yeah, I'm excited to be reading Book of the Ancestor. I've heard a lot of praise for this series, and I'm already a huge fan of Mark Lawrence's writing, having read the two trilogies that take place in the Broken Empire trilogy and the Red Queen's War trilogy. They are just fantastic, brilliant books, in my opinion. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he does in the Assassin Nun trilogy. So yeah, and also continuing with my effort to cover self-published books, I'm going to be squeezing in, I hope, Paladin Unbound by Jeffrey Spate. Also, I've heard a lot of great things about this book. I've heard some really positive feedback about it, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what Jeffrey Spate has done here in this book, which I think is the first book in the Archives of Ivelium. So yeah, I'm really excited to be checking this out. And I am probably, after that, going to start The Song of Susanna by Stephen King, continuing in The Dark Tower. This is book 6. This is all dependent. So those three books are also dependent on when I will be having my chat with AP on Dust of Dreams, book 9 of the Malazan Book of the Fallen. It is going to happen, folks. AP has slowly been getting better from the vicious migraines that he was suffering for quite a long time. So I think the Dust of Dreams discussion could be on the horizon we shall see when he's ready and fit and able to read. And then, of course, he'll have to read it. It's a big book. And then once that happens, as I've been saying, that will trigger my read of The Crippled God and finally A Sail. And I am so incredibly excited to read both of them. I've read The Crippled God already, though, so I have to say I am most excited for A Sail. It is the one Malazan book that I have still not read, and I have to wait just a little bit longer for that. So yeah, it's good to have something to look forward to, though, isn't it? So yeah, so that's what I'm going to be reading in the near future in some order or other. And what else am I up to? Well, of course, after the Malazan stuff is done, AP and I and Jimmy will be reading The Wars of Light and Shadow. That is our big read in the, I would anticipate possibly July now, but we shall see. We shall see. I will let you know as soon as I know for sure. And what else is going on here? Well, it's going to be a busy weekend, actually. So in addition to the discussion of To Ride Hell's Chasm, I'm going to be involved in a couple discussions on some other channels. So on Sunday, the 12th, I will be on Steve Talks Books, talking about the third book in the Malazan Book of the Fallen, Memories of Ice. And he's got a great group of people there. And that is going to be a lot of fun. I participated in the first two discussions on books 1 and 2 in the series, and it's lovely meeting these new Malazan readers. They're just great folks, nice, lovely booktubers as well. So I'm looking forward to that. And then a couple hours later, I will be on the channel J.R. Carroll, and on that channel, I will be joining Joseph along with some other great booktubers to discuss the Dresden Files, books 1 through 3. I have not yet been in a Dresden Files discussion, though I have read the first 4 books, and am very much looking forward to continuing in the Dresden Files series. At some point, I think summerish, I'm going to start just reading them in earnest, because I think I'm going to hit a point where I'm going to want to keep going rather than wait so long in between books. I've been using the Dresden Files books more or less as breaks in between the bigger epic fantasy books. So I am probably going to hit that point, though, where people say the series really hits its stride and it starts getting more epic, and you don't really want to wait all that long between the books. So I'm looking forward to that happening at some point this year. I also have a Dear Dr. Fantasy episode. I have the day, but not quite the time nailed down yet, but that is going to be with Iskar Jarek, and I'm so excited for that. He's a fantastic guy who has been a really great friend to me here on Booktube from pretty much close to the beginning. So I am really looking forward to having a chance to chat with him again. It's been a while. And just a quick writing update, guys. I am so excited to tell you that my agent has started the pitch this week. We waited a little bit longer than anticipated in order to get one more blurb in from an author that came in, and now the pitch has begun. So we shall see. Hopefully a publisher will come on board, and you hope, if you're feeling generous, hopefully you'll be wanting to read the first book. I have no idea no idea how the time frame would work out on all of this. There are a lot of factors that are just totally unknown at this point. But I'm so excited that the pitch has begun. This is a next stage in my efforts at publishing my trilogy. So yeah, and that's it from me for this week. And thank you guys so much for watching and for all your comments and your participation. There have been a lot of new subscribers of late, and I'm so excited to have the chance to talk with any of you who want to leave comments. This is what it's all about for me, is learning from you guys, interacting with you, and having a great time talking about the books we love. Until next time.